So I recently got sort of bitten by the pedal bug. I've always been a plug my guitar straight into my amp and turn it up really loud kind of guy. But recently I guess I just got sort of bored. And maybe a few times I was having kind of a hard time dialing in a specific tone that I needed, especially in recording when there's a mix of like maybe double tracked guitars and I need a lead to cut through. That was one experience where I was having a hard time just getting enough of a different tone. And anyway, through all this research led me to this guy, which is the Analogman Beano Boost. This thing is kind of based off of like a 60s treble booster like Jimmy Page might have used. Everybody used them back then because they were all trying to get distortion and there really weren't like a ton of options. So this is kind of like a modern version of it. But it's basically based on the old ones. It just has more options, so you can kind of like deal with, you know, you can fix a tone that isn't quite perfect if you just turn this on. Sometimes those treble boosters sounded amazing, depending on the guitar and the amp setup, but sometimes they also sounded kind of thin or kind of bad. So this lets you kind of get the best version of a treble booster happening with your amp, and I kind of love it. I'll give you a little taste of what it sounds like. So this is my amp. It's basically set to a mode which sounds a lot like a 68 super bass plexi. Pedal on, and it's only at like 9 o'clock. I got a capo on because I was recording a song that has a capo. So we're in like F sharp. Treble booster sound. It's like boosted, but it still kind of sounds like my Marshall, but it also Metropoulos, sorry, but it's just pushed, and it's kind of like got a mid focus, kind of cuts out the bass, but it's not like trebly, it's like midi more. You can turn it up. Let's put it at noon. Harmonics or something. It's just very tasty. If I crank this guy all the way, it's like almost a fuzz now, but it like behaves with humbuckers. Like if I try to do this with like a fuzz face style pedal, I have to be turning my volume down here. It can't be at 10. It's just like too much. It's too fat and like it doesn't really sound musical and it doesn't cut. It's also got a little switch here with a couple different voicings. So this is on sort of the traditional treble booster sound, which is like basically all the bass from a certain point is like cut off, and it kind of preserves this cutting kind of violin tone. If you put it up, it shifts the focus to like more of a mid, kind of in the middle. A little more bass. Let's turn it back down to like 9 o'clock. So off. Old way. Mid. Sounds good too. It just isn't quite so cutting. And then there's a low version, which is like, I guess, a lot of the bass left in. It's cool too, and then you can crank that bassy one. To me, that's almost like a fuzz. It's like woollier, but it's still like more usable. Anyway, this is a cool pedal. I'm gonna use it on the new album, the new record, the new single. I'm giving away my secrets here. This is the Analogman Beano Boost. Check it out, maybe.